what you gonna do, brother?
Oh, yeah!
Woo! What? What?
If you smell what the rock...
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Welcome, everybody, to Around the Turnbuckle. My name is the Big Albowski. His name is Professor Keith, as always. And we are joined by the Dungeon Master, Mean Mark Mest. What's
Thank
up,
you.
man?
Not much, man. How you guys been?
Oh, man, we're pumped up. We're jazzed up from a night of wrestling. It was great to be out there. It was great to be out there down in Quakertown and see some good local pro wrestling. It was fun. The kids had a blast. The kids that Keith brought were way into it. It was awesome. I'm sitting back there just like, look at these guys. Like, they were chanting, they were booing, they were clapping, they were stomping their feet, and they were having a great time, man. It was just
they had wrestling fever.
It seems, it's WrestleMania season. It seems to be like, it seems to all be coming together at the right time.
As WWE puts it, they're back in business. So
I love it. And there was 3 events going on that I know of in the area. There was one in Jersey going on, one in Stroudsburg going on, and then one down there in Quakertown going on last night. And then I looked on the calendar there. There's a guy that I belong to several wrestling groups, and there's a guy that does a calendar of all the Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York area.
Oh, okay, yep.
Stuff, Maryland too, stuff. And there's all kinds of events slated for the next few weekends. So things are starting to open up as far as the vaccine goes. And
right.
You just mentioned pre-show the states lifting things. And so, I mean, I'm excited about it. Keith, did you have a good time last night? I know you had a good time last night.
I did.
Yeah, man.
I brought the kids along, and it was the kid I thought would kind of like it, but she wouldn't be super into it. That was into it more than I think just about everybody. She reacted to everything.
For real?
Yeah, she liked booing all the heels. She liked cheering all the faces. She got to meet some people backstage, so she kind of knows the difference. But I know I even said to her at one point when Merrick Miami won, she's like, I hate that guy. I'm like, he's a really nice guy when you talk to him. She's like, yeah, okay. Still hate him, though.
It was awesome. Yeah, no. And I saw him. I didn't even know he was booked, right? And I saw him get out of his car, and I'm like, oh, cool. Merrick Miami's here. Little did I know, not only was he booked, but he was booked for the main for a title match, and he won the title.
Oh, wow.
2 main events in a row for him there. Because he was a main event at the last show. He did a loser leaves town to get rid of the Leo Sweet gimmick. And now, first time he debuts the new gimmick, and he's A, in a title match, B, in a main event, and C, he wins the title.
Wow. Hey.
Somebody likes him.
Yeah, I don't know. I that's a pretty huge push, if you ask me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was a great time, man. It was good fun. The kids loved it. We had a ball. We had a blast seeing down there. If anybody's watching this from Triple WA, thank you, because thank you so much. We had a blast. The professor and I at least will be down there for April 24th, and I hope everybody's still staying safe. And Rob, if you watch this, if you get CCW running, man, we'll be out there in Marysville too. I'll be keeping tabs on that one. Meanwhile, Mean Mark, you get Outbreak going again, and some stuff's going on, man. I know you're going to let us know. And,
absolutely. Once things get underway, and it's like anything, precautions. The state's going to open up a little better come next week. We get to 25%. Still tough because everything is still. They still kind of got you, and you got to be careful, and I get that. So, but hopefully as the summer progresses, later spring, in the summer, starts opening up more where more guys can run, and we can finally get wrestling back where it belongs.
if this show means anything, it means that we want everybody out there to support your locals. Support your locals. These guys put their bodies on the line for our entertainment, but not just because of that. But it gives hope for the future. It gives places for people to go, have a good time, see some good wrestling. And, I can't say that enough. If you're in the area where there's local wrestling and you're sick and tired of the nonsense that WWE might put out, go check out some local wrestling. It's a good time. It's fun. Those small, intimate crowds, it's a different experience.
Definitely.
It is. If you live anywhere in the U.S., you should have a promotion near you. It's almost impossible that you don't. You just have to seek them out.
All right, so we're going to talk about something, and the thing is, Keith, we don't have a guest tonight, obviously, but we're taking a break next weekend.
Mark doesn't count as a guest.
No,
Mark is not.
I'm becoming a regular, so
Mark is a guest.
I'm going to make sure he was being respected.
No, Mark is a guest panelist. There's a difference. There's a difference. We don't have a wrestler to interview today, that we normally do. So we got Mark here as our guest panelist so we could talk some wrestling. But before we get to that, I just want to say that I'm looking on the calendar here, and next week, and I want to check this to be sure. Next week there will be no Around the Turnbuckle. Let me verify that, because
next week is Easter, so.
Well, next Sunday is Easter. That's part of it. But next Saturday, also, I don't have a guest, so I figured we'd take the weekend off in between seasons, Keith, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, we haven't done it. So I got another one of those weird closing shifts on Saturday again.
So program note.
Seeing me look like I'm on the set of Cops, which I believe was the joke last time.
Yeah. We don't want to. Yeah. Program note. There will be no Around the Turnbuckle next weekend. Enjoy your Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope everybody has a good and safe Easter. I hope people go out and get to see their families, have a nice dinner or whatever you guys do on your Easter Sundays. And if you don't celebrate Easter, that's whatever you
have a nice Sunday.
Yeah, I hope everybody has a good right. So consider this the season finale of season 2 of Around the Turnbuckle, and we will be back here on April 11th, Sunday, April 11th. I'm sorry, Sunday, April. Saturday, April 10th for our WrestleMania special. And I don't exactly know what that means yet because I haven't talked to Keith about it yet, but we're going to do something. It's Mania week. It's Mania weekend. So maybe we'll have on a few people and we'll have a round table going on about Mania in general. Yeah. So we'll lead you right into Mania on April 10th. But in the meantime, I hope everybody has
some stuff of me saying like, gee, we could have booked that better. Gee, this card could be better.
Something to that effect.
Crap that I always do.
Good evening, Joe Dudley. What's up, my man?
Good evening, Joe.
What's up, man?
All right, so TJ's talking to me, and he's like that we have a fan that watches this show religiously, and his name is Joe Frazier. And I'm not making that up. It's not the boxer guy. Okay. His name is literally Joe Frazier, and he's from my hometown. And not only is he from my hometown, but he grew up on the same street that I grew up on. Okay. That being said, he's been dying to join us for a conversation, just like Mr. Mark here, just to talk about wrestling. He doesn't care what we're talking about, but he did have an idea because he's a musician and he enjoys good music and things like that. He thought it'd be great if we talked about some of the best or worst theme songs over the years, Mark.
Ooh.
Entrance music has been a thing since back in probably the 60s and 70s, most likely. It's just that people don't remember what those guys came down to the ring to because you could barely hear it. The crowds were always raucous, crazy.
Right.
You know, they didn't really care if you heard that music or not. It wasn't in my mind.
Stuff too was the technology. I mean, a lot of guys, it was you were hooking up a stereo in the back, you were bringing your own cassette. You know, it was not widespread.
Time to eat. Keep up the good work. Thanks, John.
John, you know, the promoter didn't see a lot of value in it, so it was kind of like, all right, you want to do this crazy, silly shit, whatever. That's your silly shit you want to do. So okay,
So
I'm not paying for it.
So before we dive into certain theme songs and things like that, I want to pick the brain of the promoter down there. How important is it for a new wrestler to find that song that means them or means their character and, you know, go through that process? Like, how do they do that? Do they just say, hey, this is my music, what do you think?
Well, there's many aspects when it comes to theme music. Honestly, in the beginning, I don't really worry about theme music, okay? Like when you're training to become a wrestler, you're worried about one thing, training, okay? Gimmick comes later, theme music comes later, what you're going to wear comes later. Not that you can't be thinking about that. As you're training, you know, the most important thing is learning in the ring, doing to get better, to hone your craft, because, I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, as you progress in training and get closer to like your first match, yeah, the other things start to become more important. What are you going to wear? You know, are you going to put boots on? You're going to wear tights? You're going to wear shorts? You're going to wear pants? You're going to put a singlet? You know, but then when it comes to that theme music, yeah, you need something that's going to fit the character. And that's the hardest part because, you know, yeah, you can pick anything, but if it doesn't add to your character and to your, you know, to everything, then it becomes very, what word am I looking for? Very, you know, weird because like if you're, you know, for example, if you're, you know, like an Undertaker gimmick, if you're talking about a darker gimmick and you're coming out to some rock jam and it's really fast and upbeat, you're kind of like, you know, squish, you know, you're taking two worlds, trying to put them together, and it's just not gelling well, you know. So you have to think about, and if you're a good guy, you're a bad guy. That's the other issue, you know. That's, you know, all that comes into play. Now, the thing is, once you've got through your training and like the important stuff of learning how to wrestle, learning how to tell a story, which takes years to develop. When you finally get to that theme, that's probably when you're going to try to get out there. Like even on indie shows, you have different themes, but you want something to make it your own, you know, and sometimes that's a tough thing to do, you know, especially if you're wrestling all over the place. People may not remember what you came out to the first time or the second time or even the third time, you know, unless you've been there for maybe 5 or 6 months and they're running regularly. Like they finally get it, like, oh, this guy's coming out to this music. When the music hits, oh my God. Why do you think when WWF or AEW or Impact music hits, people know? Because they've been on TV long enough, they've been there long enough, they know when a certain music hits, you know, that's who that person is. On the indies, there's no TV. Right. You know, there's none of that stuff. So when you go to an indie show and you're all over the place, you go to PA, Jersey, New York, Maryland, Delaware, you know, you went to New York and you're in Delaware the next day. How many people from New York went to Delaware? Probably zero, you know? So, you know, even though you may be known on the internet world of whoever, they may not know your theme music. So it can be a very hairy situation until you start being more all over the place. You know, it's still tough to do.
So would it be fair to say then that your theme music is more important, you know, when it comes to, you know, WWE and, you know, working on that kind of thing? I'm sure it's more important to them because they have a say in what your theme music is.
Right.
And then indie promoters kind of really to be honest, don't give a damn what your theme music is. They just give a damn about your work in the ring.
They do, and unfortunately, yeah. I mean, because unless like your gimmick is very weird, I say weird, but even if it's like different, like for example, if you were doing Doink the Clown, okay, and you had played the musical, whatever, and the kids love it or whatever, like, then maybe the promoter would care. But if you are just indie guy A and B and C, they're not going to book you for your theme music. They're going to book you because they're hoping that you're going to make them money by bringing in people to see you wrestle. That's more important than the theme music.
Just a side note, I still like Evil Doink. I still mark out for that.
Right. But I mean, theme music will come down the road. Like I said, it's not near as important and stuff. So, but yeah, you gotta, in the beginning, it doesn't mean much. Later on, it does. So
you make a great point about the music's got to fit the character, because I think back to the Sandman, when they were tuning him from the Surfer into the Sandman that we know in ECW.
What, buddy?
You go back and you watch that.
Mommy.
And they give him the cigarette, they give him the cane, and they let him drink the beer, and they give him Enter Sandman. And his thing is that he's a piece of crap, and he's pimping his wife and all this stuff. And you sit there and you think, like, wow, that music is cool. And when he smokes a cigarette is cool. Then he drinks a beer is cool. Then he hits these guys with a cane and doesn't give a shit is cool. Pimping his wife is kind of wrong. But there is this evil part of me that can also kind of like that. Especially because I like all the other things. And that's what winds up making him a babyface. So you're right.
Right.
You cannot be too cool if you're a heel, but you also can't be queen if you're a babyface, because either or is going to be the kiss of death.
So I think that the first theme song on TV that really gave a damn, that people gave a damn about, in my mind, is Real American. There was that for Hogan, and then there was Rick, and then in NWA, there was Ric Flair's, which Ric Flair's music actually comes from Jesus Christ Superstar. And so I'm sorry, that's Superstar Billy Graham. But Superstar Billy Graham had the Jesus Christ Superstar, that dun, 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 that thing. That was Superstar Billy Graham. And so when they were coming up with something for Hogan, I forget who wrote that song. I think it was like Rick Derringer, Keith, if you
right, yeah.
Something like that. Wrote that Real American
that wasn't for Hogan, though. That originally wasn't for Hogan.
Who was it for? Duggan?
No. This was a tag. It was for Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham.
That's right, it was.
It was for them. Yep, and it didn't go through, and then they gave it. Then they gave it to Hogan. So, yeah, it originally wasn't for him at all. It just happened to fall into his lap.
Also, you know that Jake the Snake Roberts theme song was originally for like a workout video that Hulk Hogan put out?
I heard something about it. I heard something about that.
Like that. Yeah. I used to like Ricky the Dragon's music, and then for some reason they changed it. Like,
yeah,
if you go back and watch old VHS tapes of WrestleMania 3 match with Macho Man, he had a different theme song than if you go back on the network right now and watch it. They changed that theme song because of the copyright.
Yeah, I was going to say that's probably a copyright issue.
See, that's the other issue with theme music today. Like, right now, like if you're producing, like, like Outbreak was producing stuff, and we're still getting ready to hopefully produce more stuff for like YouTube, trying to go on like the IWTV. The thing with that is copyrighted stuff will either get muted or you're gonna ask for royalties because it's copyrighted.
Right.
So now you got to look for, royalty free stuff, because if you have something that's copyrighted, places like Facebook and Instagram will mute it. If they come on there and they find something like that, it's muted because it's not yours.
Right. So that like, I remember that was an issue with CM Punk. CM Punk had that in Living Color, that Living Color
in color
song.
Yeah.
And Triple H had to, had a famous promo where he's out there when CM Punk was doing his bitching time, like, he's bitching about everything. And he's like, I gotta sit there and we gotta pay that band every time you come out or something.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
Which of course is not how it works. I'm sure they negotiated a flat fee where they said,
I'm sure, yeah,
all that. But yeah,
I think that if you start thinking about some of the best entrance musics of all time, I think you can go no further. You have to obviously start with The Undertaker. That just sets a tone, right? That bell.
Yeah.
All right. You have that bell. And
that first gong kind of puts hair up. Puts hair up, all of a sudden you're like,
yeah,
oh my God,
right.
But
I mean, can you guys, besides The Undertaker, because I know that's the easy go-to, can you guys, what are some of your favorite entrance musics, like WWE? We'll talk about WCW. That's a whole nother thing.
I mean, like Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, that was good.
The Bad Guy stuff.
Yep, that was good.
That was actually taken off of a song. That was the background of a song, and they just made it. John Johnston kind of made it WWE. I forget what's the song. I forget the name of the song. It's escaping me right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different people have different themes and stuff. Like, some are really catchy, upbeat, depending whether they were, baby a face or a heel, Then you had some basic, simple things like, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, where it starts out as ho, and
right?
It's just like,
John Johnston did that too. Like when Vader came over to WWE, I saw a documentary where John Johnston was sitting there saying, when you think of Vader, think of a big guy, and he's walking like this. And you're dun, 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 dun,
yep.
Dun,
yep.
Dun, 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 dun. You know what I mean? Or like the Warrior. He wrote the Warrior Unstoppable song.
Yeah.
That was always like, I mean, you heard that music and you got excited about that. It was high energy, high adrenaline. I think when you talk about theme music, it's really important when you're watching it on TV, when you're watching WCW, WWE, ECW back in the day, and you hear somebody's music, like Keith said, when you heard Enter the Sandman, that got you jacked up.
Oh, that building exploded. If you were never in the building when Sandman came out, in the Taker level pop.
And they would sing the song while he came down to the ring.
Yep.
If you would watch, like, if you go back on the network now, and they don't do it so much now. I mean, because of, maybe because they're not in the stadiums and stuff. But like when they would do Raw and SmackDown, a lot of times, especially back in that era when there was,
Eagle Fan 7, my man.
When Austin was around, Triple H was around, The Rock was over. If you watched their programming, you would see them like sit the camera back, and then they would wait for them a couple seconds, and then like say Austin was coming out.
Right.
Hit the music.
Yeah.
Glass breaks, and they got the reaction of the crowd just exploding. Right. When Cena was over big as a baby.
Did it right. They did it with Cena a lot. Cena, his opponent would come out first, and then when the crowd got kind of quiet, they would pan the crowd and then you'd hear that dun, dun, and then you'd hear a reaction. You know, when he was really over.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I mean they did that a lot. I mean I've seen them do it. They've done it for. I did it for Austin. I did it for The Rock. I've done it for Triple A. I've done it for a lot of the top guys. Like not all the time, but a lot of times they would just like, you know, when things were going to happen. Like, you know, here's the other thing too is they've also done it down when there was a beat down in the middle of the ring. Like, oh my God, what's going on? Who's going to save? All of a sudden they kind of pan back and you knew like, oh, what's going to happen? Hard cam, they see everything. All of a sudden, bang, somebody's music hits and they just go ballistic, you know. And whether it's Taker, whether it was Cena, whether it was Austin, Rock, you know, coming to make a save, you know, the crowd just went nuts.
I know that drives some people nuts. Does that drive you nuts? Does that like take you out of it where it's like, why would he wait for his theme music to come down and save somebody? Why wouldn't he just run down and do it if he's going to do it?
I mean, the thing is, like years ago, like, you know, when the business was more closed, you know, no, I don't think so. I mean, you anticipated, you know, you're like, okay, who's coming? Like, you know, somebody's coming. Who? Oh, it's got to be this guy. It doesn't have to be. Sometimes they fool you. Like, it's going to be so-and-so, and they have somebody come down that maybe it's not as big. And you're like, oh, and then they get beat down too. Like, oh, what the hell?
You like when Goldberg comes out instead of Goldberg?
And then, yeah, and then the big one pops. You're like, oh, shoot, here he is coming. Oh, my God. It's like, I mean, it was built more story. You know, it was built more movie theater. Like, okay, this guy, oh my God, the you know, movie like the hero's getting beat down and this might be the end, you know, how is he gonna get out of this? And all of a sudden there's backup or something happens and all of a sudden like that big twist comes and oh crap, yes. And then you got that.
How about the Rumble? Like the Rumble in the early days, they didn't play their theme musics when they came out.
Right.
They would do the countdown and they would do the buzzer or a horn and the guy would come out and you'd hear a reaction from the crowd. At first, you'd hear a boo or cheering, depending on who came out. Then they started doing the theme songs, and I don't know exactly which Rumble they started doing that.
I'm not sure.
Early 90s. I want to say like 90, 92, 93 maybe. Not 92, 93 or 94 they started the entrance.
And you got to realize technology helped that too. You know?
But I'm just saying the moment I'm going to go back to 2020 with Edge when he came back, when his music hit. I mean, he didn't even come out yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? That place just erupted. And I mean, and Keith and I were watching live and our jaws were like, because we heard You Think You Know Me, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, he didn't even come out. He didn't even come out yet.
Right.
I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
Right. And that's and see, that's the thing is, and they, you know, like kept it that, you know, Edge, you know, being in there and like, you don't, if he's going to be there, you don't know when he's going to be in there, you know, and and that's what's, you know, sometimes, you know, like a certain, you know, somebody's going to come in the Rumble or they kind of spoiled it or somebody spoils it. That's what I kind of like miss, like that type of moment, like who's going to be here? And, oh my God, Edge. And you're just like, your mind's blown, not to like, oh, hey, I read it on the internet that, you know, oh, Edge is going to be in the internet, going to be in the Rumble. And, oh, okay. Well, you know, it's coming now. So it's like, then you hear the music and it's like, oh, yep, there he is. Just like, you know, I'm like, okay.
All right. So Eagle Fan 7, which is my cousin, by the way, says top 5 entrance musics of all time. Undertaker, Triple H, Stone Cold, Batista, and Ultimate Warrior. I don't know if I agree with the Batista one. How do you guys feel?
I don't know about Batista. I'd say on Triple H he's had so many. Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean Taker's definitely there. Austin definitely there. Yeah, Batista, not sure.
I like Shawn. I don't like Shawn Michaels. Like person. Like I don't. I'm not a huge mark for Shawn Michaels, but I like the theme song, and that was written by Jimmy Hart.
Right. See, like, I mean, for me, like, now this day and age, the kids don't remember, but like, if you listen to the song, and I honestly,
that's Big Nick. That's right. This is Big Nick. Nick is a Mean Mark fan. You see this?
Oh, wow.
Also, a Mean Mark. I'm a huge fan. Who was your favorite theme, and which opponent was your best to work with?
Ooh.
What's up, Nick?
Who was your favorite theme? Yeah.
Who was your favorite theme of all time, and which opponent was the best to work with?
Well, I'll go with the opponent first because that one, I was blessed with so many people to work with. You know, I mean, I guess the other question is the best. I mean, there's a lot of them. You know, there's a lot of ones that I remember very well. Probably one of the best ones that I had great chemistry with, which he doesn't wrestle so much anymore, would be the Cremator. This guy dressed up like Michael Myers, and he was over as a baby. I mean, he still does some stuff now. He'll be up in Lewistown on the 24th, I believe.
There you go.
But he, like, you know, he's a bigger guy. You know, I mean, he's like, you know, 6'3", 6'4", and he goes like 280, 290, and like everything we did, and I probably wrestled him probably 150 times, probably, honestly. Wow. You know, it was a lot, and our chemistry was there. You know, we just, you know, so honestly, you know, having, you know, wrestling Cremator as much as I did, you know, I believe that as the heel and him being the baby, I still love going back to like the stuff with like the Triple H and Taker. You know, I'd bump him, you know, and he would sit like Taker. I'd be like, oh my God, you know, that whole like, I'm bigger, but I'm scared. Like he's sitting right up, you know, like, you know, and I do it once or twice, and he just continue to come at me, you know. So, you know, it's one of them deals where, you know, he's probably one of the best that I could work with. I mean, taking nothing away from guys like, you know, I wrestled with, you know, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn in a tag. You know, got to wrestle them. I got to wrestle with Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Bam Bam Bigelow. There's a lot of them that, you know, a lot of bigger names that I got a chance to wrestle against, you know. But wrestling Cremator the most, you know, he was probably the best because our chemistry was, you know, was always there. Now, theme-wise?
Oh, yeah, theme-wise, that's right.
I mean, I used to come out to Triple H's My Time because I thought it was really great, you know.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of my favorites. But it's that one, and this is what I was just going to talk about right before this question came up. Hogan's Real American. Like, you listen to that song, it just gives you that, like, that I'm not taking that crap anymore, like, type of thing. You know, right. You listen to that, you know, you hurt my friends, you know, I'm coming for you,
right? You
know, and it just, to me, it always gave me that chill, like, yeah, man, this is my big comeback. Like, this guy's coming, and, you know, he's going to save the day.
I think it was part of that superhero persona that he had because, you know, he was at the time making all this money and making, you know, getting WWE, making all, you know, he was the guy at the time. And so, you know, Vince keeps putting him in the main event at WrestleMania, and that music hits and the place goes bananas, and they're selling merchandise, they're selling, you know, T-shirts and dolls and all this kind of stuff, tickets, blah, blah. Yeah. Meanwhile, I think that even like his, you know, in match where he would be beaten down and he would Hulk out, you know, where basically if you listen to the lyrics of the song, that's kind of in there.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Where he'd make a comeback and, you know, what you gonna do kind of thing.
Right. Exactly.
So, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, Hogan's is definitely. I think Hogan's music belongs in that list.
Yes, I totally agree.
We're talking music. We're not talking Mount Rushmore of wrestling. We're talking music. All right. I'm a big fan, and you know, Nick mentioned Triple H, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Batista, Warrior. I love Edge's music. I just do. You know what I mean? I just love that music when that hits. When it's You Think You, and I even like the old music where it was You Think You Know Me,
right?
And it was just kind of generic,
right.
And the Brood, when the Brood came out, and it was kind of gothic, and it was like, din, 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 din. You know what I mean?
Then it's started to get
that was kind of bad. Keith, what are some of your favorite? Take the Undertaker out. What were some of your favorite like theme songs over the years?
I like Enter Sandman because the whole presentation, and I think that's part of it too. It's not just the music; it's the guy. It's what the guy is doing, or the girl. Let's be fair, the girl too. Girls have good music too. You know, it's that whole presentation. It's bringing everything together. You know, that's why I really like New Jack's music too. You know, Natural Born Killers works for that character because that is just a driving beat. It's aggressive, you know, and New Jack is aggressive. You know, where I mean, if you've ever listened to the lyrics, you know, it's like journey with me into the mind of a maniac, doomed to be a killer since I came out the nutsack. I got a murderous mindset. You know, he's talking about getting his sword off and shooting people.
Did you ever think you'd come on around the turnbuckle and see the professor rap? Because that's what just happened.
I know, right?
I hope DJ's watching because I guarantee you, I have just.
Oh, he watches. He doesn't necessarily watch live, but he watches, and he's gonna.
He does because I just.
He's gonna text me immediately and be like, "I just see the professor rap." Awesome.
It works because you've got that driving beat, you've got those lyrics, and then you've got this guy that comes out with a freaking trash can full of weapons.
Yeah.
And he beats the crap out of you with every single thing in that trash can until you can't move anymore.
How about Mankind would come out to a different music when he came out to the ring, and then he'd have a different music leaving?
And that was Foley's idea.
Right.
Because he said, I want something that's dark and creepy for when I come out so they anticipate the violence I'm going to do.
Right.
And then once I've done what I'm going to do, you do something nice and light that like kind of soothes me and puts me, you know, back
to normal. Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. And speaking of females, I think to me, like females, I used to really like Lita's music, you know, because she'd come out all rock star and you know what I mean, like that. And later on, I'd say Becky Lynch. I like Becky Lynch's music. That's pretty cool for as far as the women go. I you know, as much as I love Charlotte, I'm not a huge fan of her music because it's kind of like a upbeat version of her father's.
Yeah,
so it's just
what it does is derivative in terms of the entrance and everything.
Yeah, so I mean,
which I get.
But I like Keith's point where it's the guy too, because I think if the Warrior kind of walked out to that music and not run,
it
would be horrible.
I don't think that would have worked.
Yeah, right.
You never got known. Never.
Or if the Undertaker ran instead of that slow walk.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have worked either.
But like go.
If there was not somebody the first time, if either one of them, you know, did that reverse crap, if like Vince wasn't there in the back, scream at them,
you have a heart attack.
What are you doing? Don't ever.
All right, so we talked about some of the best. Can you guys think maybe like turn your thinking caps on and what were some of the worst theme songs of all time? Can you find it? I know a lot of them. And I don't want to be mean to WCW because I know WCW had some really crappy ones back in the day. You know, like I remember like Eddie Guerrero's early music. I didn't like that at all. It was kind of like generic and kind of like Spanish.
Yeah,
and it was like it's hard to explain without playing it, but it was like right.
I feel like you've now just alienated an entire segment of our audience by going. It was Spanish, therefore it was horrible.
It was though. It was Hispanic. What do you want me to say? It was Latin. It was Latino.
I would not say it in such a way that's like. By the way, all of our Hispanic listeners, your music is terrible. and you just stop listening now.
No,
So
I meant
now we know how you really feel.
it was wrong. I meant it was wrong to specifically play Latino music for him. To me, it was kind of like,
I think it was part of they didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know what they had.
Yeah.
Because
the guy was from El Paso, Texas, and, whatever.
Most of them were not wrestling people in terms of, in the tower. They knew who the big WWF stars were. When you gave them the guys like Eddie, there was nobody there that was going to watch a tape and be like, oh, I get this guy. This is what we should do with him. It's like, okay, it's another hand. He's light and jumps around. Put him with the other cruiserweight guys. Yeah, Eddie's wasn't great. Disco Inferno's was terrible. Because just about everything about Disco was terrible. So why should his music be?
I don't know a lot about WCW. I didn't watch a lot of it, so their themes were all kind of like mediocre to me. They all blended together. Sometimes some of them blended together. Like, who's that? I'm like, oh, it's so-and-so. I'm like, it is. I'm like, I don't know.
They did have some cool ones. Goldberg's music was cool. Man. NWO's music was cool.
Oh, definitely. Yep.
But was great.
But when Hogan first came over, that American Made song, which was a watered down Real American song, was ridiculous.
They had the rights, and they were trying to get it as close as possible.
And it was ridiculous, though. It was so ridiculous. He's American made.
I'm trying to think. There was another one I thought of that was not great, and now it's like slipped my mind as I was talking.
Santino Marella.
Everything about Santino is just no.
How about the Boogeyman's music?
I am the Boogeyman.
I think his music worked for him. I think so. I think it helped him. And I apologize, everyone, for how congested I sound. I went to bed last night and my allergies decided, hey, guess what kind of day you're gonna have, buddy?
Big Nick says top 5 females music's Paige, Ember Moon, Lita, Trish, and Chyna.
That's a good list.
As much as I love Chyna, I would take Chyna out of there and put Becky in because Chyna was like, don't treat me like a woman. Don't treat me like a man.
Right, yeah.
I didn't like that.
I'm very partial to Sasha Banks' old music. I absolutely hate what she comes out to.
The NXT stuff?
Yeah, I absolutely hate the one she comes out to now. I love the one she came out to before because it was so Sasha.
Nick says the worst, Santino, Great Khali, Old Christian, not the Just Close Your Eyes one, American Made for Hogan, and the Spirit Squad.
Yeah, God, I'd almost repress the Spirit Squad. Thanks, now it's back. Now it's
Could
back.
be worse. Could be the Mean Street Posse.
Good one, Nick. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Another one.
2 of those guys were Shane's legit buddies that he grew up. I think it was Joey Abs was the only one that was like an actual
Pete,
guy they brought in.
Pete Gas.
I remember Giant Gonzalez. His music was boring.
So was Giant Gonzalez.
I know, so it kind of fit, I guess.
Eddie was sloppy. I've heard some Arn Anderson stories about. I think Flair pissed him off in a match, so he like chopped the shit out of Arn or something, and Arn basically to just grab him at one point and like punch him as hard as he could and go, God damn it, can we fucking work now?
Mark, how did you feel about the theme song of the New Age Outlaws? Like that was kind of like, I mean,
I liked it.
Yes, Alan, we are discussing worst theme musics and best theme music. So what do you got? Let us know what you got. Mark.
Oh, and before I just want to say this. Talking about the New Age Outlaws, I don't know if you guys heard, but
Road Dogg had a heart attack. Yeah.
Possibly had a heart attack and stuff, is in the hospital. So I want to send my well wishes and prayers to him, and hopefully it's nothing too serious, But,
I saw a tweet from his wife saying that he's going to be okay, and that the outpouring of affection from the fans has been overwhelming. So
Yeah.
I'm glad he's gonna be. I'm glad he's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like the test they ran for his kidneys and everything else, they came back
good. Yeah.
They're gonna put something in for his heart to monitor and keep an eye on that.
But I like going back to the New Age Outlaws. Like, you know, I think that was one of the another one that like people listen for. The Godwins.
Now, by the way, they don't play that on the network anymore.
Oh, Hillbilly Jim, yeah, right. Country Boy, Hillbilly Jim, yeah. But the New Age Outlaws, I always thought that was a good one too, because like, you know, you didn't know?
Oh.
You know, people were all of a sudden, like, you know,
your ass better call somebody.
Right, exactly. You know,
Alan says "Best" was "My Time" by Triple H, and Mark, that's yours.
Yeah,
I came out to that a lot. Yes, I did. I like that one a lot.
Steve Austin, and the worst is Seth Rollins' current theme. "Burn It Down" was 1,000 times better, 1,000,000 times better.
Yeah, I agree. His current is, you know, "Burn It Down" was definitely better. You know.
I used to like the Shields, like before Roman Reigns' music was Roman Reigns' music, it was the Shields.
Right, yeah.
You know, they tweaked it a little bit. They made it more like impactful.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And we start and we end around the turnbuckle with several theme songs, you know, in a little mix there. I start off with, you know, I think I start off with like Hogan. And then I go Macho Man, Flair, and then I go like Cena, Austin, Rock, and then I go Roman Reigns at the very end, kind of going forward in time there.
And if you talk about, you know, Savages too, like that one, you know, that's like a graduation thing.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Circumstance.
Yeah, you know.
I think Gorgeous George used that too a little bit back in the day.
Well, Alan, how did Eugene's theme song go?
Remember.
It was kind of like I don't know. It's sad to say. I think it was like a generic Special Olympics theme song,
right? Maybe.
And that makes sense.
Remember Righteous Sense that was supposed to be annoying?
Oh.
And you want to kill yourself?
I thank you for reminding me about Right to Censor's theme music, because that was terrible. Terrible.
And it was supposed to be, and yet somehow even more so, it was like, oh yeah.
The hurricane. Stand back. There's a hurricane.
Yeah.
Has the best theme music of all time. I disagree, Alan.
Remember X Factor? Their themes were not great.
Yeah.
That was the epitome. That was when everybody coined the term X-Pac heat.
Remember Daniel Bryan's music before the one he uses now, and he hated it, and so he went to them and said, "I hate this because I don't even know what it is, and it's not me." And you know, and so he's like he wanted something that he understood, like what he was listening to. So he chose Flight of the Valkyries. But then they took, and at first he came out to just regular Flight of, just Well, anyway, they tweaked that and they added rock guitars to it, and it was like, tried to cool it out a little bit, but now it's like you hear that music and everybody starts going, yes.
Yeah, that's about it.
Right. But I used to like Triple H's The Game. Like you mentioned My Time. I always liked The Game.
I like that one too. I think I would.
Yeah, I was like, it's time to play the game.
Oh yeah, it's
it's all about the game and how you play it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
A lot of the best theme music is current, Undisputed Era, Balor, Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura,
Gargano.
And some of these people, their music is clearly more over than they are right now.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I'm trying to think. Do you think Doink was one of the worst ever? Like, you know, like the circus music kind of.
I like heel doinks better because it starts out really happy and then it just turns into like, this guy's a fucking serial killer and he's gonna murder you. He's gonna come into your room at night and he's gonna stab you.
You know, part of the reason why I like Demolition got over was their music. I
thought their music was great. I love their music.
Like, here comes the axe, and here comes the smasher, the demolition. That was awesome.
You know, you can say what you want, but I mean, I used to listen to a lot of like the first and second, like Pile Driver, the
album.
I liked it. You know,
Go Beware.
Yeah, you know, Pile Driver. I mean, there was Vince McMahon did Stand Back. You know,
Jive. Say everyone in the West is not over.
No, we did not say Stand Back.
No, Stand Back is so bad it's good.
My ear started bleeding.
Stand Back is so bad it's good. You know it.
God. Or when they did that music video, if you only knew what I'm gonna do to you. They're all standing there.
Yeah, like that's great. And each one had their own little thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Piper had a line. Ted DiBiase had a line. Yeah. Iron Sheik had a line. Nikolai Volkov.
They scripted the crap out of Sheik on that one, I'll bet.
Alan's favorite theme song of all time is Alan's favorite theme song of all time is actually when Nikolai would sing the Russian national anthem.
Yeah, that was the
best theme song of all time is any song from the Macho Man's rap album.
Oh my God. Man Hulk, fighting for charity, yeah.
Listen, any chance he gets to troll me and say, talk about the Macho Man's rap album, he takes it.
At least he's not bringing up the whole rap is crap thing with Mr.
Perfect. That was very over with me, and I am the least Southern person out there. That was one of the epitomes of WCW stupidity. Oh, we're going to be a Southern company based out of Atlanta, and the guys singing country music that are Southerners, yeah, they're the heels. The rap guys are the baby faces. Because that's going to work. No.
How about Harlem Heat's? Harlem Heat's music was good, I thought too.
Yeah, Harlem Heat. Yep. Hey, what about Road Dogg when he did the roadie? When he sang the song Jeff Jarrett's
for Jeff Jarrett, yeah, he sang with my baby
tonight. Yeah. Yeah.
Another one was Kurt Angle's.
Yeah.
Did you know, Alan, that wasn't originally meant for Kurt Angle?
No.
Who was it meant for, Mark?
I'm trying to remember that the music was I'm trying to remember. I know it wasn't Kurt's original, so
yep.
I don't remember off the top of my head.
It was for the Patriot, Del Wilkes.
That's right. Patriot. Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm full of those useless facts. The professor reads and I just watched stuff so many times. It just gets in there. Here's a question. Which theme is better, Legend Killer or Voices?
I think
Randy Orton.
I think Voices.
He's talking Randy Orton there, yeah.
I'm going with Voices, too.
I hear voices in my head.
They counsel me.
Yeah. I talk about stuff I read. I just read something the other day that is crazy. Andre the Giant was almost Randy Orton's uncle by marriage. He proposed to Cowboy Bob Orton's sister. At one point, he said no.
Wow,
that's interesting. Yeah. That's an interesting factoid, my man. All right, Mark, you got anything to promote, man? Because we're getting close to that hour.
Already?
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
We're 55 minutes in.
Wow, where did the time go?
Always.
You know?
Especially with you.
Like, man, an hour's not long enough anymore.
Another one is, which one's better, Fire Burns or Cult of Personality with Punk?
It's called a personality.
Oh, yeah.
Cold.
3 miles.
Fire burns always. Nah. Give me Cult Personality right there.
Yeah, hell yeah, definitely.
All
And
right.
if you want to argue Miseria Conter, I think I'm saying that right. His theme song from Ring of Honor originally versus Cult of Personality.
Yeah.
Now we have a debate. We have a debate at that point.
There you go. Mark, you got anything coming up? You got Outbreak stuff, Dungeon University stuff, anything like that?
Well, we're training at the dungeon, so we're there Wednesday and Friday nights right now.
No, my time is now, Alan.
Yeah, I like Thugonomics, but my time now is better. Oh.
Stop interrupting, Alan. Let the man talk.
But no, I mean, we're still training Wednesday and Friday nights at the school at the dungeon. Anybody's interested, you can contact me. One thing I haven't said much about, which we have a whole line of merch on teespring.com. Look up the store Dungeon Strong. I just made up some water bottles and some of those tumblers that you can get for put hot and cold in, but I got a lot of merchandise on there. I got some of my stuff. I got some of the dungeon stuff. There's shirts. There's hat. Well, I didn't make up hats yet. There's shirts. There's all different types of stuff that is made there. Anybody interested in that? But if you go to teespring.com/stores/Dungeon Strong, but I think if you go to Teespring and just search Dungeon Strong, my store's there, and it's got a bunch of stuff on there. Older stuff, newer stuff, but definitely you guys want to check that out. But anybody wants to, like I said, anybody wants to train, whatever, give me, dungeonstrong@gmail.com is
there you go, Alan. Get in the ring.
Yeah.
You're 6'3", 300 pounds. All right. You want to wrestle? Go down and learn from the man.
Yeah. We'll teach him from the beginning all the way up till he's ready for his first match.
He's 20 years old.
Oh man, that's the time to do it. Man, now's the time to do it, because man, you're never gonna be any younger than you are today, because tomorrow you're gonna be another day older. So don't hesitate. Do it now,
Yeah, I'm just messing with. I'm trolling him. He's been trolling us all show. I'm trolling him. But no, he has been bringing up good. Alan, thank you for, comparing it. What's the Nick's got one here. Best stable theme. His is the Four Horsemen.
Horsemen's is good.
NWO. It's a DX. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think you got to argue.
Yeah, there's a big argument on what could be
ready?
better. Yeah, I mean,
You think you could tell us what to do?
if you're looking for the older version, yeah, Horseman's the way to go. But then you get into more of the modern, then you're looking NWO/DX.
Undisputed era? Wrong, Alan.
Very.
DX wannabes. All right, here we
And
go.
you talk about stables, so trios even.
Evolution.
How do you beat the Freebirds?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Back Street, Atlanta, GA.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was thinking when they actually came out to Freebird, but Bad Street.
They did, but no, they gave Backstreet, Atlanta, GA.
Yep. Oh yeah.
All right, Alan. I'm playing this for you, buddy.
What do you see?
Transformative, do not strike us, YouTube, transformative.
And you know why I played that? Because you're never going to hear that in a WWE arena again.
They're not paying for it, and I truly believe he's one of those guys that he's not coming back unless they basically give him the sun, the moon, and the stars, and almost like a public apology of like, you were right about all of it.
And even so, it's like he's older now. He's got a lot of other stuff going on. Like, I know the people would love to see him, but is he like he was a few years ago? And he's going to be rusty. He's going to be.
We'll hear that in AEW when Khan dangles a big enough check. He says.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think so. Notice I said WWE ring though when I said that.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, but
I do like Jericho. I do like Judas. I like when the crowd sings Judas when Jericho comes out nowadays.
Yeah.
I do like that. I do enjoy that. It's a good song.
I just start to feel like Jericho's becoming, that guy that stays around a little too long and is maybe making a little bit of a mockery of himself, but maybe that's
you mean like he can't do a lion salt anymore?
Not just that, but also like the Twitter feuds and everything else he kind of is getting himself into. It's like you're not doing yourself any favors.
AEW has some cool theme music. Yeah, they do, Alan. I'm not saying they don't. Doesn't mean that they got great shows, great talent.
Some of them are very good. And some of them are the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
Judas, Super Kick Party, Darby's, Moxley's. Yeah, all right. All right. We're going to get out of here, guys.
It's just, when it ends, nothing good happens after that.
Yeah. Mark, thanks so much, man, for filling in and coming in and talking.
No problem. No.
For merch. Just go, check out Dungeon Strong. Go if you're interested in wrestling, look him up for Dungeon University.
Yep.
And he's not hard to find right here in Pennsylvania or the Pennsylvania area. And yeah, thanks so much for coming on, man. And
anytime, I always love coming on here.
It was a blast. I mean,
like I said, the hour went too fast. I know.
It was fun, and it was a great subject. And I'm gonna get everybody out of here with remember, there is no Around the Turnbuckle next weekend. I hope you guys all have a safe holiday weekend. Get out there, support your locals. Shows are coming up, especially in April. Mm-hmm. Mark mentioned Lewistown. Did you say Lewistown?
Lewistown, April 24th.
Lewistown, April 24th. The professor and I are going to be in Quakertown on April 24th. So stuff is starting to happen, guys, and I'm excited about it. And I hope everybody, and we will all see you guys next time at Around the Turnbuckle on April 10th. Saturday, April 10th will be the next time the professor and I do Around the Turnbuckle. And Mark, stick around, man. We'll still talk for a minute.
Sounds good.
And I'll see everybody next time on Around the Turnbuckle.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you gonna do, brother? Oh yeah! Woo! What?